bringing on Team Spirit. It's Dust2, Spirit a map up in this series, looking for a quick 2-0.
Yes, that's right. Gambit youngsters, Team Spirit, and a very happy birthday to Mr. Travis Scott, who's not watching the game, nor does he know anything about Counter-Strike, I'm sure. However, it is his birthday nonetheless. We're ready to kick off a pistol round here in the second map of the series. Spirit currently leading, and they want to keep it that way. 2 flashes on Nafny and some decoys. What is the big game plan here from Gambit?
Well, I'm imagining with how this is looking, right, you're immediately going to have to just concede this long control for the time being, right? Team Spirit already getting out. As a result, you're kind of forced to play this in a cat CT retake setup on the Gambit youngsters side. They're pretty content to have these players at the site taking some gunfights on Team Spirit as they move up through long, just because the USPs are that much better for it. And it has led to a man advantage getting taken by the Gambit youngsters side. So now Team Spirit going to bow out of long. They back away and instead look to join Sumdai Young over here at mid. They leave Chopper behind. He's going to keep on battening down the hatches here alongside. And will start to push on up. Looking to go toe-to-toe with Nafany here, and he does bring him down to 20 points of health, but not quite the kill. Team Spirit looking to go back into an A-side take here. Perhaps looking to try and bring IDIS balance up through Catwalk later in the round, but he's very low on HP. And so that is something to bear in mind. He gets shut out of middle. This leaves Magix all alone, and a 1v4 required. He does land a nice little shot there onto 1, but it's not enough. Gambit youngsters, they will get that pistol round on the board.
Yeah.
And Trace, man, you said Travis Scott doesn't know what CS is. I don't know, man. He was pretty involved in Fortnite. He's a bit of a gamer.
Same thing there, right?
Yeah.
CS, Fortnite.
Basically the same game.
Okay, well, you guys have lost the plot. And speaking of the plot that was had over on the C stream, it was a 16-0, if you remember. But the curse has been lifted. Unique found a 1 round to the 9 of win strike on the second map. So not back-to-back 16-0s at the very minimum.
Well, the force up for Spirit, the armor, and the scout on IDIS balance. We're waiting to see if that's going to be able to pluck any of these players out of play. Right now, doesn't seem to be the case. Gambit are extremely passive in their setup. Mid control has been gifted, but they're spotting it from the B site. Spirit are giving Catwalk as well, flashing up. 2 smokes and a flashbang left on this T side. Enough to go for a mid to B, enough to set up towards Catwalk, but that would, of course, be walking into the heavily stacked site of the 2, and with a passive setup such as this, Spirit know exactly where Gambit are going to play. This is more than default. 2 inside of B. The surprise will be the player in Goose more so than the A site, as Shiro is going to try and bait them in from the ramp side. Spirit are going to move through mid late. Smoke's actually not down towards CT, but they have got a deeper one on the cat side of things, so Shiro can't see through, so it's down to the B players again. It's messy. Tried to transfer. Supra gets overwhelmed. The bomb has been dropped, though, and that needs to be retrieved.
Fortnite, Omega lol. Had to get that one out of my system, guys. I hope you'll understand.
Ooh.
What a shot.
It's tagged on the man jumping over mid. Now, Axel coming in with this flank, and he might catch Magix entirely by surprise. Oh, he's a little bit trapped here, is Magix, and that's going to leave Sumdai Young to do all of this alone inside of the site. He catches the first man and now holds outside of the window. Can stop this bomb defuse right now, and now just tucks himself in. Axel, there's no time.
Wow, Sumdai Young single-handedly wins that round. Good stuff.
No, that's fantastic from him, right? Because, like, you know, he knows he's out on a limb there. He knows he's all alone, and he's effectively playing that in a 1v2 in spite of it being a 2-on-3 with a man still in the tunnels. And he catches the perfect timing to wrap around. And I think as well, the fact that Gambit youngsters give so much room to Team Spirit, so much time left, or so little time, I guess, left on the clock for Gambit youngsters. They're left in that situation where they've just got to barrel into the site. Sumdai Young obviously hears all the footsteps, gets the information, and closes that out in a very convincing what was essentially a 1v2 from him, right? But there was a third man coming in late.
I am glad Gambit youngsters take that, slowly on the retake and safely. More often than not, you see, CT's wrapping all the way through T-spawn, coming in that flank like Axel did, and then, not expecting someone in the tunnels. Well, he did. He was very aware of Magic's position, but Gambit took time to come in from lower and push Magic's back up. So he's really able to get far more than he should do in that spot. Stuck in the tunnels, but stalling out for Sumdai Young, who is now armed to the teeth. Scouts out for Gambit youngsters as they force back in. Some connections through the doors as well. Missed jump onto the Xbox coming through, but you got another chance of that. That smoke is still up, and Spirit might not even go towards a catwalk as they set inside of the B tunnels. Only one man here. Nathany's helping out in middle, and actually Gambit appealing towards A. They see that smoke, they think that Team Spirit have gone catwalk. It's all a ruse, it's all a fake, and Supra is going to have to do it alone. Instantly shot in the face, no hold on this B bomb site, and there we go. That's the round done. Welcome to Dust2.
Welcome to Dust2, says Hugo B. Byron of Oxfordshire.
Wow, you got my location right for once.
Yeah, I figured.
Doxing me, Trace.
Not quite doxing. I just remember some of the statistics about Oxfordshire.
Yeah,
and
but,
I just, and maybe we could get Bastion on the line to kind of chime in with this one, but
he's a big fan, actually.
It's just, good grief, Harry,
cool.
would you not?
Oh yeah, me, dude. Yeah, that was me. That was all my fault.
Just
what fell?
Don't drop the phone, man.
Oh.
Yeah, Trace actually just sent, the old rotary phone.
Well, that's the one that comes directly from Valve.
Yeah, that's actually got a direct line to Joe Miller, and Joe Miller only. So, right there, you might want to fix that one up, Trace.
Yeah, I'll get to it in a second. Well, you cannot discount that Spirit are in this game for sure. Not even really letting too many rounds slide away from the beginning of this half, in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, at least keeping 4 players alive on the save kind of gives you like another go at this partial investment round, right? If you want to look for silver linings here for the Gambit youngsters. You do have eye disbalance, spotting for this mid peak and trying to go toe-to-toe with Shiro. Now, he might have seen that 3 players, admittedly, with Shiro still kind of dueling mid, made the crossover towards B. And I imagine that's why we see Team Spirit kind of moving away from that idea now after sending 3 players into the tunnels early. This is thanks to the information that Scout was able to grab. And that's the thing, if you're Team Spirit, like we kind of said, like this is another go at the 4-spy round for Gambit, thanks to keeping these 4 players alive. So Team Spirit is still going to be very, very cautious in this one. They know that it can get out of hand and they don't want to let that happen. So they're going to look to take some catwalk control in this round. Molly there just to get any perspective, scouter maybe down off the boost if there was one, playing that kind of AWP drop-down position. That's not the case, though. And that does secure this limit banana for Team Spirit. Banana? Catwalk, rather.
Big Inferno now.
Kind of shaped like a banana. Like a very rigid banana.
What fruit are you eating, Harry?
I only eat, like, perfect right-angle fruit. So none. Shiro now looking for players on the cross. And Axile, well, he will put one up on the board. It is immediately dealt with. And this A-bomb site now belongs to Team Spirit. Shiro is still floating around here with the scout, but he wants to get out of danger. And this is because Gambit youngsters want to play this in a 4-on-4 retake.
Talking of danger, that's a dangerous plant. Now, it is for catwalk, but you can stick that behind the boxes. And we've seen players here at the Road to Rio be punished by that exact bomb plant. Magic's late from long. The Shadow gives away his position. Inters has a huge advantage with that kill, and he'll take it. An AK for the retake, if it is to go through here for Gambit. Already the time has ticked halfway down. Sumdai Young looking the wrong way. He's going to get blindsided. Eye Disbalance needs both kills if this round is to happen for Spirit, and he's only going to get one. But luckily enough, Gambit will throw caution to the wind and get on out of there. They may save the force in the previous round, but they save the upgrades here as well. Certainly all about making money, our Gambit youngsters, and they've saved some serious dollar bills. Shiro looking for some exits. He's going to get dropped. He could have finished off Eye Disbalance, who was low anyway, but that's not the case. And at least 2 AKs are saved here for Gambit youngsters who can buy around them into this rifle round.
I'm just glad bananas really aren't that rigid. That doesn't just seem like an enjoyable experience, does it?
It would be more like, it would look like a boomerang. It'd be pretty cool, actually.
So it'd be like, kind of like an eggplant maybe, or maybe more of like a squash.
Yeah.
Like maybe that could be a right angle,
That could be, definitely. I mean, Yeah, man, why not? I mean, anything could be if you tried hard enough, right? Like, we can do anything.
You bend it with your mind, like Beckham.
That's exactly what he did, man. I remember watching him in the Matrix film when he appeared, bending the spoon with his mind. I was like, man, no one can bend it like Beckham. That's wild. But here we go, Team Spirit down here towards the catwalk.
His career is football. His passion is physics.
And of course, a victorious man.
Nice.
In both.
Yeah.
Anyway. Ronaldo better than Messi. So we're going to see this set up here from the side of Spirit. And with 5 alive, they're going to look to assert their dominance inside of the A site.
Actually boosting over the smoke. Inters is watching for it, but the Molotovs, look at them, they're raining in. Fire all over the site. Shiro's got a peek with a flashbang. He's got a spray. Such a nice transfer, but only 2 HP left on Mir. He will survive. Hey, as Spirit cross towards this A site, Super and Nafani are all that remain. There's kits dropped at the ramp, but do they want to commit to it? Do they want to consider it with a disadvantage? Not a fun position to be in. Worth sometimes giving a look in, but with the pace that they're setting towards middle, it might just be the save after all. Late long control potentially, cut off those saving players in the pit. Get yourself more guns to work with. Supra doesn't need one, he's going to hold on to his. But Nafani wants a bit of an upgrade. If he goes around this corner though, he's going to walk into the orb. So, gotta be careful, have his wits about him as Spirit continue to build on this T side. 4 rounds now to their name. It was a pistol they did forego. And since that point, it has not been a slowdown for Spirit. Gambit have been saving round after round. It actually hasn't been a round where Gambit haven't had players surviving. So that just kind of shows where we're at right now. Dust2 can often feel like Inferno. Like we joke about it, but yeah, you get B-entry like that. You get quick rounds from Spirit where they don't give away much information. They take Catwalk, but Gambit can't over-rotate from B because, like seen in the past, Spirit, they take Catwalk, they drop into a mid to B. It can come out of nowhere. So Gambit, they have to save those guns, and now they've got to buy around it with the AWP.
Yeah, Dust2 a map that can be dominated by a strong AWPing presence, and it still feels like we really have yet to see iDisbalance or Shiro have much of an impact, much of a say in this game. Now, we're only 6 rounds deep, right? And I imagine the time will come where that turns around. But for the time being, Team Spirit, they've been getting it done with the rifles in the majority of these rounds. iDisbalance, once again, holding for this mid-cross, now going to turn his attention over here towards the long doors. And he will have only seen 2 players crossing mid, so this might lure Team Spirit into a split B play, especially with this top tunnels control being taken, and now with a kill coming in from Chopper. That makes this B site feel even more tempting. Super on the short end of the stick there. AK at least retrieved by Nafani over towards the B-bomb site. And a bit of a rotation looking to come through from Axile, but he goes toe-to-toe with iDisbalance down in middle and gets tagged in the process. Team Spirit now starting to trickle in through the tunnels, slowly but surely, and now very, very fast. Kind of funny how that one pans out. Now Nafani, can he hold the line? He does double up, and that at least leaves this round in a doable situation for Gambit youngsters. Finally, it's not one of these B takes where you're left with the only option being a save.
It's about time, and yeah, Mir, he's just hiding. He doesn't want to cross. He doesn't have a smoke for the door, so required iDisbalance to come through that utility and cover the window while they plant. Need to hurry up with it as well, because, you know, while I understand why Spirit are taking things slow, Gambit could be close. They're not, and they have been afforded so much time to rotate. Shiro's come from long through T-spawn, and the bomber's only just gone down, but he's going to have to beat an AWPer holding his position. Inter's good Molotov. There's no smokes left. iDisbalance has to move. He has to get out of position. He's sitting in the molly, and he'll get shot by Shiro. All down to Mir in the corner, hiding, cowering at the car. Which player is going to push first? Which contact will he get? It's going to be Shiro. Quick on the trigger, and 2 kills on the retake. It's the AWP that will send Gambit into 2.
Yeah, things so far going to plan. For Spirit, that is. But Gambit youngsters able to lasso themselves 1 round in there. Very, very sneaky, sir.
Something faster, maybe? Spirit are running right down mid. They got up catwalk immediately from that suicide play. The smoker lets Gambit cross, but they actually don't spot any of this. So Spirit have advanced positioning, and they tuck in hopes that Gambit will re-aggress. That's not the case. Inter's coming in from spawn to watch middle, but you're not going to find much. As said, Spirit already up catwalk, so Inters will see nothing. He's going to hold on to CT instead. And Spirit, again, another decent default where they just hold everything. They're going to group towards A, at least in this round. And if all things go wrong, they can drop B and go for that late mid to B that is so prominent.
Yeah, a few things to bear in mind here, right? You got a bunch of Molotovs and 3 smokes in play. Now, I'm imagining these smokes are going to go down. One to allow for this cross, maybe another falling on top of the boost box as well that we so often see. And then maybe a CT smoke thrown in for good measure, because that might help Sumdai Young if he does find himself in this situation where he has to try and get across here over at the long side. They now look to get out, and this is where you're hinging on these 2 players at the long doors finding success. They manage it. They do deal with Exile, but now this is where Shiro looks to turn the tide. He isn't aware that a second man has gotten out into this position, and down in CT, this position that remains unsmoked for Team Spirit, Gambit have been able to put up another kill. Still a 3-on-3, and that is thanks to Magix winning his fight out over Shiro at the long side of the map. Tag on to Nafany as well. 3 players swing on out now from CT, and I disbalance. Well, he takes matters into his own hands. One with the AWP, one with the Deeg, and a 5th round on the board for Team Spirit. That faster play in towards the A site yields them some immediate results. The double stack at long, something that Gambit youngsters didn't seem ready for.
No.
They get caught off guard by it.
Yeah, when it comes to that double setup, I think Shiro was considering it, or maybe had a feeling, right? He gets that kill on long, he doubles back, he checks it again, he looks back towards the A site, and then on a 3rd repeat to long, Magix kills him. So Shiro at least considering the possibility, but he didn't know that Magix got out behind the blue dumpster.
Now, we do have a little bit of a microphone issue. And trust me, these things happen online just as much as they do on land. So, in the meantime, we're going to have a little bit of fun with you, Twitch chat. And my 2 favorite colleagues, got Harry and Hugo right here to kind of guinea pig this whole thing. So I'm really enjoying that part.
Yep.
Now, on the other side, I kind of want to pose a question, and I want you guys to kind of deliver it as best as you will right here. And we're going to let the chat decide via the kappas and the foreheads and all that. So, basically, I want to know if Na'Vi don't top this group, who is a good runner-up to top this group right here for the CIS of the ESL 1 Road to Rio? Now, I'm going to let you guys say it one at a time, and I want to start with you, Hugo.
I would say Fours, right? I think they're definitely going to be one to look out for. Now, I think the big names are going to be VP, Fours, and Na'Vi, right? Those are the 3 safe ones. But, yeah, VP have been a little inconsistent recently, and I'm not going to be putting my money on their backs. But, yeah, Fours, I think they can look really good. Back in Pro League, they took Na'Vi the distance. They had some really good fights there. So, yeah, let's go for the Russians.
Okay. Yeah. You know I'm a big Jerry fan, so I feel like Hugo getting his answer in first is kind of snuff this one out from underneath me. I think 4s are a good one, but I think if you want to look at like a dark horse that could really do some damage, I'm looking at Simon Gaming. And the reason is, well, largely because of Norbert. I'm a huge fan of him, right? I think he's a stellar individual. And then you look at the guys he has around him. Obviously, you got Mo, right, from the Gambit fame back then. So there's always a chance that I think these guys could surprise us. But me and Hugo both said 4s, and yet there he is winning the poll as usual. Something I would love to see is, could we get this poll to balance at 50-50
and now just basically restart.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh yeah, of course the dude at 28% is the
okay,
one
fine. Let's try and get Hugo to 100%.
Oh, okay.
Scrap the 50-50. Let's try and get Hugo to 100. You can do that by putting Kappa in Twitch chat. Usually it's hard to get you guys to stop doing that. So
you're missing some key element right here, and I just want to remind you that it takes a little bit of a while, and by that a few seconds, a couple minutes here for the Twitch chat and the viewers at home to keep up. So
we'll come back to it, Trace.
We could. I mean, we got all the time in the world except for the freeze times ending. Either way, it does look like Hugo is going to be taking this one. We're going to give you another chance at it later, Harry. We know you won that sweepstakes to get you in here, the next caster challenge, and we got you up here, but you're going to have to step it up.
Yeah, man. I mean, when we both say 4s and Hugo wins, I guess, like, pretty rough one for me.
First to the punch, Harry. That's what you've got to remember. The early bird, he does indeed get the worm.
But is that such a blessing? Let's really think about it here as we look at this round in front of us. Just pistols for Gambit youngsters. Harry, take it away.
Yeah, thank you very much, Trace. It's a pleasure to be here with you on this desk. I'm loving every minute of it. Physically, every waking moment feels like an hour. And when I'm with you, Trace, I love that.
Yeah, bunch of kappas, bunch of foreheads, couple 5-heads slipping in there. So perhaps at the end of this round, we bring up the vote again just to see where it is. Meanwhile, Deagles are just going the way of Gambit. Bomb being planted by Spirit, but damn, there have been some pretty Deagle shots here in this round for the Gambit youngsters.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, taking the advantage, that would be a dangerous one. So Mir's going to back up, play it safer, play the bomb, and get 6 on the board. That's a good flash. Oh, he doesn't check the corner. That's a mistake. And Gambit youngsters get an AK delivered to their doorstep. Sunday Young will not let them take it, though. Doesn't matter. They've got guns anyway. The 2 saving players in T-Spawn running away as Spirit finds 6 on this T side. Building into this game, well and truly. Already a map up as well. Spirit in a very good position.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Hugo.
What were you thinking, Trace?
I mean, you said early bird gets the worm, and I just am brought back to the ancient proverb that is second mouse gets the cheese. So
that's a good, yeah, I've not thought about that.
Let's think about it. Let's really get deep in there and really just sort of examine what's going on. Is it really worth it to be the first one to get the worm?
If you're a bird, yes. If you're a mouse, no, you're probably going to walk into a trap. And, you know, that ain't fun, Trace. They do say that. You know, no one has bird traps in you know, ground, in grass to stop them getting worms. But people are fine with birds eating worms. What's wrong with mice eating cheese? Let them go.
This is the guy that's winning the poll. I'll say that.
Only because you're rigging the votes, Harry.
Magic's over here towards short. And is he a bird? Is he a mouse? Is he a worm? Let's find out.
Or is he cheese?
I mean, we're going to have to wait and see. One of those is not like the other. Of course, birds have wings. So I disbalance over here, looking through the mid doors. Not able to find anything just yet, and that's because Gambit youngsters, they've fallen off. They've held this very, very passively, giving up a decent foothold in mid, and instead relying on Inters to hold that from CT. This is looking to be the B play. Supra might have something to say about that, though, and these flashes have done a great job of delaying the push from Team Spirit. Chopper now is the only man remaining from this play into the B site, effectively alone here as he tries to go toe-to-toe with Supra. Oh, the timing. He just skirts behind the box and now looking for this kill, but Supra is the man to deliver. Magic's left up in a 1v2 clutch. 30 seconds on this clock, so time is of the essence. Does have a Molotov to try and force one of these players out into the open, but that is really anything but ideal. And Magix knows that he's going to back on out of this round, concedes a third, puts one on the board for the Gambit youngsters side. And Supra, stellar hold there inside of the site, but a shout out to the rest of the team. Those supportive flashbangs were instrumental to holding that B site down.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, you know, just staying alive for so long as well. Nafany coming in to help. Supra's still on the site, hiding behind the boxes. And that's what you want to be doing if you're on B, right? The second that, you know, everyone is dead inside B, that's often when you can, like, just straight up lose the round. Because if the utility's there, if the numbers are there, Spirit just win it by default. So Supra really stalls things out. He doesn't go wide until he realizes that he's caught a timing onto Chopper alone in B. And Magic's late to the party from Catwalk. So does save the AWP, but it's actually going to be a pause from Gambit youngsters who only just got out of that round by the skin of their teeth. They want something a little more convincing, and certainly going to be necessary if they need this money to continue. Even a costly round that they win can leave them with nothing.
Well, there are several games going around here. We already know that. We've already established that. Now we are at the beginning of a halftime here. Between Fours and Namiga, you can see that they are very close and very close indeed. The first map of going to Namiga. And then if we start to talk about what's gone on elsewhere, Unique versus Windstrike. Now, mind you, a 16-0 happened there in the first map. So Unique already showing some face here in the second. And that's going to put them a 7th on the board, halfway there. And they're just getting started. So are we, with another round here between Gambit youngsters and Team Spirit. AWP's out, I disbalance. I deal in balances.
Well, let's see, these balances are high in supply, or if the money is going to be drip dry for Spirit. There's nothing left in the tank, so Spirit really do need to win this round if they want to keep up this streak on the T side. Flash up Cat, forces the AWP shot. Nafany going to smoke mid, and Shiro's actually going to take first blood before the smoke blooms. Disbalance is looking to trade, but the utility again from Gambit continues to be good. Disbalance tagged, and Inter's looking to force a fight here. He could drop that player. He can finish the job. He's being very loud though, and it's being watched. Doesn't matter. Axile with a kill instead, and 5-on-3. Yeah, Gambit, they make the right call. Back up, give Spirit some room. You've got a huge advantage. You can just tuck into your positions. And Spirit, they're looking to, once again, push out from mid, but it doesn't seem like a B split because Magis is long as well.
Oh, and a kill found by Axile over here towards long onto Magix has left this situation looking more and more grim for Team Spirit as time goes by. Some die young and Mir, the only two players left, and this has really given a lot of freedom to Gambit youngsters. You're going to see Axile looking to take full advantage of that freedom as he goes out through the long doors, trying to come in on a flank here. Now, this does leave a temporary 2-on-2 at the A side of the map, but Shiro locking down the crossroads with the AWP. Sumdai Young alone in a 1v5. He does have this one fight here and now, but there's that flank that we were talking about earlier from Axile. He comes up through the catwalk and puts a fourth round on the board for Gambit youngsters. They take that round in a pretty storming fashion. Only one kill coming through for Team Spirit. And Gambit youngsters really looking to try and get back into the flow of their second map. Putting a fourth up on the board, bringing Team Spirit's economy into question. And this is where they can look to start chaining some rounds together.
Oh dear, this is a fast one for Spirit. Running up catwalk with nothing to lose, everything to gain. They're looking for a bomb plant at best, as they're just going to run the gauntlet into this AWP. Shiro, how many you got, buddy? One, and the grenade. That should do damage, but he sees a player drop CT. Good grenade. Further one to follow, but they're already on side of the site, and they can get this bomb plant. No one here to stop them. Molotov will kill them after the plant, if the bullets don't. But they will, and Disbalance is gone as well. It's a clean retake for Gambit. But Spirit got what they wanted, which was just the bomb plant in that round.
Yeah, and you could tell right there, Spirit had an idea too. They wanted to put a guy in the spawn, potentially undetected, perhaps getting himself some of the rotation, or at least biding some more time for Spirit to get the bomb planted. Either way, Shiro proves to be a menace towards the ramp. Does put us at a 6-5. Spirit still holding on to the lead. They're going to be taking guns into this round to try to do so.
While playing the long spawn, he actually gets out. He doesn't even try and take the fight. It's very common to see an AWP just post up on that position, but Disbalance goes out behind the blue. Will get there successfully, beating the likes of Gambit to the punch. They're going to re-aggress elsewhere. They've lost long, they want Cat, but Team Spirit are denying it with a Molotov at their feet, so it will be smoked instead.
Disbalance smokes off the long cross, and that's going to allow him to set himself up down in the pit. Now, for Gambit youngsters, this denies them this entire avenue of long, right? Shiro is still inside of the site, floating around with this AWP, but he's not in a position to fight pit. And so this gives Team Spirit the foundations to build something off of in this round, right? Like, this is kind of the El Clasico way of playing Dust2. You get your AWP down in the pit, and you shut off this entire sight line to Gambit youngsters. Now, the response is pretty standard as well, is you push up, you take catwalk, and you try and defend this A site from the cat position. As well as that, you're kind of hoping that Team Spirit elect to throw in a bit of a split, and maybe you can catch one or two guys moving up the catwalk. This is where you're meant to be holding the line, but instead Chopper calls all of that into question. Shiro gets caught as well, and this cat play has been dismantled from Gambit youngsters. Nafany and Supra, they are in a position where all they can do is save. The A site completely falls apart on the back of losing that long position. And so maybe they get away with the Galil and M4. Certainly not ideal, but it's the best case scenario here for Gambit youngsters.
Yeah, luckily no hunting for a Spirit, right? They've not got money either, so looking to save their own guns. They only just got off that eco round on the A site, so 5 alive at the end of things for Spirit is a profitable position. The AWP is well dragged forward for Disbalance. They had the option for 2, but with the pace that Spirit is setting in this T side, no real need for 2 AWPs. They've been going for a lot of beat crunches. And iDisbalance, he's certainly getting the job done when required. Not needed in this round to at least get a kill. Spirit up to 7. I like that site smoke as well. Buys a lot of room for Spirit to move. You see Shiro getting more than caught off inside of the site, jumping in with the AWP. Seen him a lot in this series, just, you know, not be ready to get faced, not be ready to get peaked in, you know, like a 1 or 2 second time span. Like, if he does what he does maybe a second earlier, he's fine, but he always seems to find the worst timings. iDisbalance looking again for the long pick, but it's a smoke at the corner. It allows Gambit to fight. Ooh. And iDisbalance will hang around in the Molotov and take the first man. That's a huge kill. If they wanted, they could just group B right now. That kill is going to force such an adjustment for Gambit that Spirit can just execute into that B bomb site in a 5-on-4.
Yeah, he really has split the defense here, forcing them to focus elsewhere. Meanwhile, they're putting a lot of emphasis here on this Xbox towards Catwalk. They want to try to get their luck going up that way. Spirit can do so, or they could reflex and go back out middle. However, Shiro posted up with AWP. Not going to be quick enough. iDisbalance there, though, to firing a couple more shots in his way, and they're not going to stop there. The pain train keeps on rolling into the A station. And it's going to be a bomb plant here. Only 2 members alive for Gambit. There's about no way on earth they go for this. And they're going to find some contact in the form of S. Sumdai Young in lower. Well, that's unfortunate. Magix also wants to play. And there we have it. Team Spirit looking to close this half out in stylish fashion.
Yeah, if this goes 10-5, right, it's going to be more than enough work set out for Gambit in that T side. Oh, that's filthy shots.
Yeah, and you know, this is the thing, right? You want to know, like, the key thing for Gambit youngsters in keeping this afloat was the fact that they've usually, in the rounds that they've had to save, have been able to get away with a couple of weapons, right? So that loss bonus combined with that has allowed them to keep fielding these buys to keep this game competitive. So those 2 kills from Magix there over at the car actually have some resounding impact into this round here and now. You know, if you save 2 M4s or an M4 and an AK out of that, rather, you're going to be in a position where those 2 players can drop rifles over. Shiro could have bought his own AWP, and then you would have had a full buy in this round, but you lose them both, and now they've gone for this very, very odd buy. Shiro, Hero, AWP, the rest of the gang on pistols. You're really hoping that the AWP can deliver, and this is going to put a lot of pressure on Shiro as well, and as a result, we see him trying to take this early peak to pick up a man advantage.
Yeah, this is a real risk for Gambit, and I imagine the thought process behind it is Nafty wants to drop an AWP moving into the last round of the half, assuming nothing goes right here for Gambit, right? But Shiro won't be able to buy him back, so it's a big investment, it's a big risk, but like you said, the reward, well, that can make up for it. Let's see if there is any reward for Shiro, because there's nothing around him, no utility to get him into angles. And once again, when Spirit have long like this, they can just commit. So Shiro might be in a position where a save is the best call he can make, but he is inside of the site, and he's already losing teammates. Axile's gone, no trade. That was the kill. That was a shot that could have kept Gambit in this round, but iDisbalance now still stands tall, and he knows what he's up against as well. Shiro moves into a position where he can at least take a shot and peel off and save this gun, and that might be needed as Spirit get close towards A.
Yeah, we need a hero. Oh, are we going to get one in Shiro? It's in the name, so let's see if it appears in the game as well. Supra digging down Sumdai Young on the cross. iDisbalance him with a response of his own. And now the bomb plant coming in. Mir dealing with the man at Gandalf. Now leaves Shiro in a bit of an awkward spot. Ooh. However, another D kill coming on in. Gambit youngsters are more than interested in how this might pan out if they go for it. They'll drop Shiro down into CT, and time ticking off of this bomb. If Gambit youngsters do want to attempt the 2-on-2, they've got to be decisive in it. They've got to commit. And iDisbalance traded 1-for-1. Leaves Shiro now versus Mir, but so much time ticked off for this bomb, and the indecisiveness making it take even longer. Shiro's just going to try and hold on to the AWP. Mir manages to get this one done by just being in the server. His presence alone is enough. Now, if he takes this AWP away from Shiro, that's going to be devastating. And he does. How
God.
ouch.
Shiro lands so many great shots as well in that round, and the one shot he had to hit ends up being a miss.
Yeah, now, luckily enough, as said, Nafany can drop that AWP over, and Shiro swaps it back with an SMG, so it's still fine for Gambit. They can buy, but they could have had so much more here. And really, that AWP in the previous round, like, if you're not going for the round win, it's almost not worth it, because it does nothing to the economy. They get 4 kills. Spirit have everything. They have all the money. They can buy up, and they have change as well. So, yeah, like the AWP doesn't really do anything for Gambit there, but it has to here. Last round of the half, Spirit in a commanding lead, but Axel will take the first kill in this round. That's something. Long control is lost for Spirit, and that's been so good for them in this game. Shiro always been spotted. It goes both ways. The feet are there, but he won't get given a second chance. He's going to see the barrel of the gun if he goes any wider. Hello. Knows there's someone here now. Oh dear, it's a jiggle, it's a swing, and Idis Balance spots him. The smoke's going to hit Shiro. He's got to fall back. Axel, meanwhile, has doubled up from the A side of things in the pit, and there's still players on the site for Spirit to deal with. They're trying to cross towards it from Catwalk. Young getting pressure, getting shot at. Molotov, even at his feet, can't cross any further. This is a bit of a reckless round for Spirit. I don't know if they'll be able to get anything done here. Idis Balance looking to cut off a B player. They could try and rotate back with the bomb, but that's being optimistic at best, and Supra has already spotted this. A player from the flank should have his number, and that's the half locked and loaded. 5 alive. Gambit do take 6 at the end of things at least. Let's see if they can close things out, or if we're going to a 2-0 for Spirit. Join us in just a moment.
Yes, yes, y'all, and we will not stop. Not anytime soon, at least. We got Gambit Youngsters and Spirit. Now, Spirit picking up the first map. They win this one, they close the series out, and then we start to turn our attention towards the Ninjas in Pajamas versus the Danes in Astralis. Sweet on Dane to violence. You do hate to see it. Nonetheless, it's all digital. No one gets hurt in the making. Welcome back, everybody, to the ESL 1 Road to Rio. Harry and Hugo are going to be joining me here. We were ready to kick this one off. Looks like an early B play, fast B play at that from the Gambit Youngsters. They've really taken the fight to Spirit.
Yeah, SDY tried to play close, but before he even got close, the flash came through the rafters, and I love that from Gambit. You see so many teams, you know, having to take ages to set up their utility. Gambit have an incredibly fast flashbang that comes through the rafters and does a lot of work towards Spirit on the site. Both players blind, and Gambit make quick work of them. And yeah, pistol, done, locked and loaded. Nothing Spirit can do about retaking this one.
And if you are Gambit, you're feeling pretty good about taking this pistol, right? Because, you know, the opposite is that you lose it. You see Spirit go up to 10. And following a conversion round that, let's just assume Spirit would win, that really does start to roll downhill.
Yeah, I mean, that's the game, and the series more than likely closed at that point. So Gambit, it was a necessity to take the pistol here. And it does put them in a position where Mirage, you know, is seeming more and more viable by the second. But this is still not their map pick. We know Spirit have depth, and they're already showing us that. But the start is there. 7 rounds for Gambit. The armor survives as well. It makes upgrades cheap, really only for Nafany, but it's still a good deal, a good discount as Spirit look to force the issue into the second round. Mir's certainly bored up. We'll see how much Spirit will put into this. I imagine just de-armor. Iris Balance, he can either save for the AWP or he can go for a scout. He's actually going to drop a FAMAS. I like that as well. More and more rifles per player here for Spirit. And the spy's decent. 2 scouts, a FAMAS, 2 pistols. What can they do with it?
Well, looking like they just want to go for a Hail Mary B play, and there is only one man here in the form of Chopper, so a good chance the Gambit Youngsters are able to just get into this site and get that bomb down. And at this point in time, this could be just a 5-man save from Team Spirit, right? Give this buy a go in the follow-up round. You'd have that much more around it, and yeah, that looks to be the decision. They back out, they go away, they give up the bomb site. And this should be an 8th on the board for Gambit Youngsters. Now, Team Spirit likely going to look to take these guns away, right? And try and put them in their own hands. They'll set up back here in T-spawn. Because at the same time that it's kind of like worth the risk of taking some of the weapons away, potentially arming yourself, you don't want to have committed to a 5-man save and then end up losing 3 players trying to hunt at the very end, right? This is a round that you've already written off. And Mir, the only man with a weapon, pushing into the tunnels now.
Ooh, he might get an AK here. Look to his left. He's not going to check it, though. The sound on the right side of the car is enough, and that's hilarious. Mir thinks he has the drop on them. I like the idea, though, right? Like, look at the health of Gambit. They save all inside of B, and, you know, that's information that Spirit have, because this balance was on the car, and he can see that no one's exiting ramp. So Mir wants to kill the players, or at least, you know, go full Doja, do some damage, 50 health across all of them, and they're going to die to bomb. But he doesn't check the corner. Yeah.
That's a scary thing right there.
You know, throw the grenade in the pit.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The bomb do the work. But, you know, Axel's ready for it. And Axel, he's had a hell of a game. 17 and 8. He has been the hero of Gambit. And coming into this T side as well, him and Shiro looking to do more heavy lifting. It's a B play again in this round. Spirit, oh, it's going to be a bail. They run at it, they hear some flashes, and they dive out. And that's lucky for them. 3 players here and a 4th in middle. It's a stack for Spirit.
Ooh, Iris Balance just waiting down here in mid, and you have that little smoke thrown to cover the cross up onto the Xbox. Gambit Youngsters trying to slip by, trying to go in between each shot of the scout, and they do manage to get up onto the cat. That's at least this hold with the bomb reinforced a little bit. And as you touched upon, Team Spirit, they've stacked the B bomb site. Magix is alone here at A. And dropping down was not what he wanted to do. This might be another 5-man save here for Team Spirit if this A play comes in. That kill, though, from Iris Balance now makes things a bit more interesting, because suddenly for Gambit Youngsters, they're left considering, you know, is A going to be the right choice? They're now a man down. They don't want to walk blindly into a stacked site. And so they will start to recommit over here towards A now. They get Inters up onto the catwalk as well. Shiro's going to look to join the rest of the gang. And as long as they keep this trajectory, as long as they get into this site, this should still be an all right round for the youngsters. Chopper not able to find anything with his Deeg. Perhaps uncharacteristically so. Usually very proficient with that weapon. And it is just a mow down a catwalk. One by one, they feed the beast. And Magic's dinked on up. Should get finished off here. Ooh, trying to get away, trying to run. The old saying, you can run, you can't hide, and that's true. He tries to tuck himself in down towards CT and get shut out of the round.
That he will. Looks as though we have a ball game on our hands. Stronghold there, Inters. And this is what Gambit youngsters need to get back into this game. Be it losing the first map does not mean that they are out of it by any stretch of the imagination. 9-9 should tell you that. Mirage will be what settles the series should we need to go there. Real quick play down middle from the side of Gambit youngsters, trying to get some nades out in front of the Spirit side, perhaps flashing them off of a few positions. And as of right now, mid doors are vulnerable, but Team Spirit are going to be there with the response.
Oh, that's a nice little grenade.
Meaty.
Yeah, it can be so dangerous to be playing inside the long doors. It's like a an airlock for artillery. And well, you leave the airlock and that's what happens. Idis balance, he's waiting on the other side. He won't let you go much further. Cat smoke is not down here, and that's often a necessity coming through this position. They're going to smoke it late. The molly pushes Chopper back, but Supra's been tagged in the meantime. Idis balance almost hits that shot. Supra ducks below. There's still two long players that have since bailed, but they need this A site and they haven't got it. It's going to have to be a B bail for Gambit as they run right through the tunnels. It's a good timing. Spirit are fully rotated, but they've started to realize that this one ain't what it seems. Chopper doesn't know if they're in already. He's got to play safe. That smoke will make it clear, but he can just go through it. He can risk it. The flash is good, and he is in their face. Great call from Spirit. Flashing in there, beating them to the punch, and not letting them plant. Has left Inter spotted in middle. He's dropped the orb, but how much further can he really go?
Yeah, only 30 seconds left on the clock as well. Now, there is a timing in where there's only Chopper here at the B-bomb site, and that opens up a potential 1v1 to regain some map control for Gambit youngsters. Inters, though, 15 seconds. If he is going to attempt this, it's got to be now. And slow walking into the crosshair of Chopper. Not what he expected. A 10th round on the board for Team Spirit. They find their first when these rifles come into play. A reinvestment for Gambit youngsters. But this is where you do not want that lead to start to slip away from you, or not necessarily lead. I guess the fact that they've been able to equalize this out, find the conversions, pick up that momentum, and that can all get stripped away on the back of losing this round, because suddenly you've got no money, you're having to take an eco at 11-9 in favor of Team Spirit, and that's where things really do start to get a little bit scary for the youngsters on the other side. Inter's getting burnt down very low by that Molotov. So much damage done on the back of the utility. Exile's burnt out of the round. And two players down on sub 20 HP here alongside. This has been a great start for Team Spirit. That utility has done them well, and it's sent Gambit packing.
Got a Chopper in the car. And the Fanny's got, well, he's got all the room to run out middle. I mean, the only one there currently to contest him would be Mir. He's going to start to back towards B. He realizes that if he falls, B side compromised. The rest of the Gambit youngsters working their way up catwalk, 3 deep with the bomb. And 2 of their players just below 20 HP. Group up, stick together. They're going to leave Nafany in place. Catch one of these rotations, make their lives just a little bit easier. Chopper still posted up at long, but this op from Idis balance is going to get just absolutely bamboozled by Supra's AK. Hell of a shot right there.
Yeah, Supra has been looking real good, right? That was the case back on Overpass, and that's even translating across now. Nafany, timing, but now coming on in. Sumdai Young is not going to be ready for that, although somehow he is ready for that. Exactly ready for that. Turns around, deals with Nafany on the wraparound, and suddenly you're back into this round. Mir doubling up, Shiro cut down, and it's Mir delivering 3. Defuse going to come through. Team Spirit, an 11th round on the board. And my word, that one looked like it was a done deal. Gambit youngsters, they were 4 on 3 when that bomb went down. They had a mid flank coming in.
They had a great setup here for the Gambit youngsters. You know, to get that player out middle. He's done his job. He's done everything he needs to do up to timing. Just doesn't hit the shot. That creates a problem. You look a little bit past that, and it's all this room that they were giving up catwalk, and it's just squandered away almost. Spirit with this round. Mir, a big driving force of it. 11-9. Spirit want to close it out here. They don't want to see any third maps. They ain't got no time for that.
Well, with 2 CT rounds in a row, they've at least done the building blocks, but now it's about the easy rounds, quote unquote, because Gambit on pistols. We saw them get a cat rush with Glocks and no util. They got a bomb plant. Will the utils slow them down here, if anything? They should go fast and furious with the flashes. High disbalance push back. He's going to re-scope up for one. Each player try to cross towards a site and get the plant. Some can stay cat to cut off the rotate, but bomb is allowed here by Spirit. Oh, that's a 2 HP AWP shot. Finally finished off. High disbalance gets him the next time around and dropping into the spawn while the flashes are good. The guns just are not. And Spirit outclass, outarm the likes of Gambit in this round. It's going to be a retake.
And our first game of this group, the ESL 1 Road to Rio, has closed. Winstrike and Unique. Obviously, after getting 16-0'd in the first map, it just really wasn't on the cards for Unique today. That's quite unique if you think about a 16-7 scoreline on Vertigo, where Winstrike walk away with that one. Now, that's not the
Wait, it
only
ended
one.
16-7?
Yeah. On
My goodness, mate, when we tuned in earlier, it was like 7-6 in favor of Unique. So,
now,
that really turned around.
Now, also, Nemiga have beat Fours. Now, we put Fours up there pretty high on the list of teams within this region, but they're going to take their first L here in this bracket. They're going to do it to Nemiga.
Well, let's see who will be taking the L in Dust2. Nafany getting tagged by the AWP. Not killed, luckily enough, down to 50. Chopper close in mid. He's hoping the AWP will bait them into taking a fight here, or at least peering through the door. Oh, they climb up, and they beat him to the battle. Supra takes an advantage here for Gambit in this round. That's an important kill to find. Spirit have limited utility in this round, and they're getting rid of it more by the second. Molotov's going into B. But that's not where this play looks to end up, at least not yet. With a player peeling back from long, I wouldn't be surprised if you see Gambit drop off Cat after throwing util and go back towards B. But let's see, because Catwalk is theirs, and Long is going to be under consideration by Spirit. Bit of a run boost over. Mir getting close to middle. This is a dangerous play with the AWP, but Magis has pushed Long. They now know it's an A play. They found a second. How has this happened for Spirit? In the blink of an eye, an advantage for Gambit flipped on their heads, and they're walking into the AWP that waits in the side of Long. Eye disbalance with one, and the bomb gets planted. But again, Spirit have been so good at these A-side retakes.
Nafany dropping a interesting smoke here. Allows him to take a little peek into CT and still keeps his vision relatively obscured. You're going to need a huge performance, though, from him and Shiro. Half the time ticked off this bomb. And that's where Team Spirit look to make their first and maybe their last move here. They get that one done nice and quickly. Magic's coming in with 3. And a 13th now gracing the board for Team Spirit. It's kind of similar to Overpass in that the moment these sides have switched up and we see it, you know, go the other way with Gambit being on this T side and Team Spirit CT half, they just start to outclass them in such a big way, right? It might have gotten off to a good start for Gambit, but since the rifles have come in, Team Spirit have gone flawless.
Well, yeah, what's important to remember as well, it's not just the individuals, but it's the team play. Those flashes coming back into the site, 3 rounds in a row on A have been excellent for Spirit. Fully blinding Shiro. He had a position where he could drop Magics on the corner with the AWP, but he can't even see him as the kill comes through. Spirit have been really, really good at setting up utility for their teammates. Now, well, talk about utilities lacking for Gambit. They've had to force a buy into this round, but it's going to leave them with not a lot if they do lose it. I disbalance, that flash avoids him. The grenade clips the corner, and he's going to have to take dry fight. He sees them, he knows they're in position, but he's going to walk into the scope. He's ready, and Nafany loses his head through the ground. Oh, dear. That's not the kill you want if you're Gambit. And Spirit has started off with a man advantage. Look at the amount of control they have as well. They know it's not B. They've cleared lower, and they're flanking Catwalk with an AWP. This doesn't make sense, and Mir is sending them out of this series. I disbalance Chopper. Everyone's had their moment in this one. And Axile, what a great score coming into the T side. He was, what, 17-8? He is now 17-14.
Good grief. I mean, it just seems like every step of the way where Gambit youngsters, they make the right calls. They're in the right place with the right tools. We're in the right uniform at the right time. And it just turns back around on them. Time and time again. There's so many opportunities for this Gambit youngster squad, but, well, it's just not going their way. And sometimes it be like that.
Also, I think you just helped give them like a accidental nickname in the Gamsters. I like
Gamsters.
that. Mir going for the no-scope. Obviously not intentional. Looked like he unscoped just a little too soon and then shot.
Style points.
But imagine if that landed. Would have been sick, wouldn't it? Goes toe-to-toe with Shiro down here in mid. It does get tagged by that scout. Suddenly the AWP challenge in mid is no longer a prospect here for Team Spirit. Chopper has moved in to offer some assistance and maybe some resistance, but they'll leave mid and start to hedge their bets over here towards the B bomb site.
And this is something Spirit have been so good at, reading. Even back on Overpass, they constantly had CT triple stacks on that A site when Gambit went there. They just knew what was going on, and they've read this well. Gambit have gone for like 3 or 4 cat plays in a row now. We've had 3 retakes on A in the last 5 rounds, so of course they're going to eventually go B, and now is the time to shine for Team Spirit as they stack up inside of this site. 2 for SDY, and he's looking to clean up the round. He will. 15 for Spirit. Gambit might just be a round away from a loss here in this best of 3. No Mirage.
Not necessary, as it stands. The way this works is one team gets to 16, and they win a map. And the idea here is to win 2 out of 3 maps. And if that takes you 3 maps to win 2 out of 3 maps, then perhaps so be it.
So be it.
Doesn't look to be the case here. Spirit trying to close the door on the Gambit youngsters, set a precedence in this CIS bracket.
Yeah, and that's a good sign, right, as well. Spirit, we talk about top teams in the group, and I haven't really been mentioning them because I want to see where Spirit are coming into this this season. But, you know, alongside Na'Vi, Fours, and VP, the name up there is Spirit, right? The other team that's not only higher in the rankings than VP, number 19, but, you know, up for the task of making it through this group, undoubtedly. So Spirit definitely going to be a team to look out for, and Gambit are figuring that out the hard way.
Oh, Gamsters. Magic's going to drop the smoke and a Molotov here just to try to defend his honor at ramp and also grab some kills with his AK. Might as well at that point, right? Idis balance, known to be a little bit lethal. Somehow Magix gets a kill from beyond the grave with the Molotov. And already this flank is here. The Gambit youngsters have absolutely no idea, but this round is a little out of their taking. It's on Shiro's shoulders with this quick flank. He can find Idis balance, makes it easy, and almost does Idis balance turn around.
Ooh.
I say all of this, 2v2.
Yeah, Mir is not in a great spot either. He's got to try and do this from a very unideal position. He's helped out there by Chopper winning a fight onto Supra. Shiro now in the hot seat, and he knows that Mir is floating around down towards CT and Elevator. Mir is just remaining hidden.
Oh.
Chopper has this round and this game dead to rights. It's 16-9. Team Spirit, they're able to best them on Dust2 as well. It was 16-8 earlier on Overpass, and now Dust2 going in favor of Team Spirit.